Today, the Mercury Marine destination takes us out onto Lake Ontario. It's a beautiful day today and time to head out in the Princecraft. Lake trout are the target today and fishing can be fast. Downriggers are without a doubt the best tool for fishing deep, but with these bottom-hugging fish, snags can become a problem. Charlie has a system that not only saves your downrigger from snags, but excites the lakers at the same time. Even a lure that stays out of the snags at slower speeds. Pay attention to your trolling speed and depth, and it can simply be one after another. Scraping the bottom for lake trout this week on Fishful Thinking. Fishful Thinking is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Princecraft boats dominate the waters. Cannon downriggers and Ram trucks built to serve. Water conditions are brought to you by Humminbird Fish Finders. Get the big picture. Big waters can blow up fast, but you can be more comfortable. Smooth out your ride with Smooth Move's shock-absorbing seat suspensions.
Wow, this system never lets me down. Now, I'm just going to get myself away from a couple of boats here. I'm going to bring this one up. I love these Cannon downriggers. Stop at waterline feature. If I hit the auto button. These Optimum downriggers, smooth, quick, adjustable. You can program them to work in with your fish hawks. They're just reliable downriggers. And what more can you ask for? Reliability. Now this guy's holding himself to the bottom pretty good. I'm going to clear this line. Well, maybe not. I'm going to leave that down where I can manage it. I'm going to slow myself down a little bit. This good old little Mercury Pro kicker. That's good. That's comfortable. And this system is something I use. It's actually perfect if you're fishing snaggy areas, because I'm using a jet diver or a tripsy diver to get down and keep my downrigger weights safe. But in a situation even like this, sometimes the downrigger weights will spook the fish. So I'm using this to take me down an extra 15 feet. So even in a snaggy situation, my downrigger weights are 15 feet above the rocks. I'm using this jet diver on a dropper line to get down into the dangerous zone. And being close to the bottom is what you really need to do. All right, you don't want to come off the bottom, buddy, but you're gonna have to. Now, this Princecraft, this is an Expedition 200. Beautiful. You see how much room I have back here? Big, huge cockpit area. I've got a great casting deck at the back. It also has, as an option, you can get a whole bench seat in this. Now, the bench seat, it folds into an enormous casting deck. It folds back up into two beautiful, comfortable seats with handles and cup holders. And just pushing this little lever here at the bottom, this little spring-loaded strap, it pops right out and out of the way. I've never seen something so user-friendly. Just beautiful concept. All right, you finally have given it up a little bit. Real nice lake trout. This is the system that works so great. Now, let me see if I can just scoop you into the net real quick. And there you are. Beautiful. Now, I don't have to worry too much about this boat. This nice vinyl floor. I've got a wash down system with this. Give myself some line. Put you back here. And I'll show you exactly the setup that I'm doing. Beautiful fish. Just gorgeous. I'll be real quick with him. Gorgeous little acre. A lot of fun. All right, buddy. I'm gonna get you back really super quick. Kick, straight down. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, there's two different ways of doing this. When I'm using a spoon, you gotta remember, in this situation, let me get this all untangled. In this situation, I'm using a spoon on this side. Now, a spoon, you're gonna have this stretched out, and depending on the turns and everything you're gonna do, that spoon's going to either stay horizontal or drop a little bit. So when I'm using this jet diver on a dropper line, you gotta think for a second going, it's not just going straight down like a lead weight of 10 pounds. It's stretched out at probably about a 45-degree angle, making bottom contact. So I'm taking into consideration, if I'm using 3.5 feet of a leader on my jet diver, it's only maybe 2 feet above the bottom. And then I've got my 6-7 feet of fluorocarbon and my spoon. But if you have this too short and it's stretched out, you're only inches off the bottom and your spoon's dragging through zebra mussels. So if you're using something like a spoon that will sink on slow turns, make sure your dropper line is a little longer. On this side, I'm using a buoyant lure, so I can keep it tighter, because when I slow down, the lure is actually going to float up a little bit. So right now, I'm just going to feel the fish out. So far, they like the spoon. If I catch a few more in this, that one's turning to a spoon.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mercury. Power and dependability you can count on.
I get asked by a lot of folks, how do I get more from my 12-volt battery? I cannot get the day from it. What style do you use? What size of battery? What make of manufacture? Well, the best solution for this is supersize it. It's a 12-volt battery, add another 12-volt battery, and all you're doing is connecting the negative to negative, positive to positive, and all you're doing is giving yourself a double battery that'll last double the time. If you got room in your boat for this, it's the easiest solution.
Conditions today are brought to you by Revo Sunglasses. See what others don't.
All right, this is exactly what I was mentioning about having a buoyant lure on the other side that has a shorter dropper line on it. Now, I don't want to bring you completely up. I'm going to be drifting a little shallower while I'm fighting this fish, but I want to keep that down there where it's manageable. And, like I said, auto, I don't even have to worry about it. This is so much fun. And like I said, it's perfect for you folks that want to lake trout in areas where you'll snag the bottom. Nobody wants to snag a downrigger weight. It's dangerous, it's expensive. When you snag a downrigger weight, something's got to give. Either the cable's going to snap, you're going to lose your cannonball, your downrigger weight, or worse yet, you could rip the downrigger right off the boat. And I've heard situations years ago where a snag downrigger, you can actually sink the boat. So nobody wants to snag a downrigger. Now, with this, it even, like today, I'm not worried about an area here where I would snag the bottom. What's perfect is I'm not getting my downrigger wire down there humming right through the fish's living room and the cannonball dragging right through them. This is just less invasive. It just drops down. I'm expecting this to get down 15 feet for me. And how do you know where 15 feet is? Well, before you even come out for the day out to your depth, stay shallow, be in 15, 20 feet of water, put these out, and see where you're hitting bottom. And then with the line counter like this dive with Saltus, you know exactly how far that jet diver's diving down. You're making bottom contact. Perfect example, 45 feet of line out, I'm getting down 15 feet, it's perfect. I can repeat and repeat and repeat. I'm starting to see some sea fleas on the line. In that situation, I will start using a thicker line. Oh, that's a nice lake trout. Beautiful fish. Now, I think I can just put myself in neutral. This guy's not going to cause too much trouble on me, I don't think. And that way I can net him on this side and not worry about a spinning propeller on that pro kicker. And you can see how long this leader is. I need some help here with a long net. And you can see right there at the tip of that rod, I've got a short dropper to that jet diver because this lure floats. This is the Freedom Herring. Now this is designed for salmon, but as you can see, it works great for lake trout. I don't have to be, it's not speed sensitive. If I'm going too fast or too slow, it's still working great. Let me put that clicker on and give myself some line. There we go. And it's got that beautiful cut bait roll. Just whoop, whoop, whoop. And let's see if I can get you in here. Oh, there's a chunky fish. That's a good laker. Look at that tank. I've used these Freedoms for a long time, and even though a lot of guys love them for salmon, they are just spectacular for lake trout as well. And being buoyant, if I'm on a slow turn, I don't have to worry about this dragging into the bottom. It floats up. Now, look at that guy. Look at that tank of a lake trout. That is awesome. Now, you really went sideways on me, buddy. Well, auto up. Thank you, Canon. And I can't emphasize enough being able to, depends what lure you're using. If it's a floating lure like the herring, the Freedom Herring, you can be right real close to the bottom because it's buoyant. If you're using spoons, you got to give yourself that gap, because if you're taking slow turns, it's going to sink down, snag up, bottom slime, zebra mussels, you name it, you're going to be into all of it. Now, in this case, I think, since this guy's already past this line, I'm going to get rid of this one and pop that out. And let that just float back there. And that's the other good thing. They're buoyant. Jet diver, when you snag bottom, when you're doing this system, give it, back off all the pressure, and a lot of times it'll just float itself out of the snag and you just reel up and reset. There's so many advantages to fishing this way. All right, good. I'm free and clear of all the tangles now. You know, I thought this guy was half in. He's 68 feet down. He just went out there, came back in, and I'm not being gentle on him. There's a lot of pressure on this. And when you got so many of these nice Canon rod holders all over the boat, take advantage of them, move them, get it out of the way. You know, a lot of people say they don't like lake trout fishing. They peel off line and they fight, and there's a big glow right there of a beautiful fish. Look at that! Clicker on, little bit of line. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Just fat as can be. I can hardly get my hands around it. All right, buddy, same deal. Torpedo and see if you go, or I've got to assist you. Look at that. With these Revo glasses, I can watch him go right down. He stopped about 10 feet into it, pumped the tail again. The glow is gone. He's got to be down there 30 plus feet now, just still pumping the tail. And the temperature changes so quick, they just go right back into their living room. That's fun. Make no mistake about it. Lake trout, other than certain times of the year when they're suspended in their temperature zone, they love hugging that bottom. And that bottom contact, something ticking, like these jet divers, excites them. It stirs up the bottom a little bit, and it just gets them going. What is that? There's a tidbit, there's a spoon, there's a freedom herring, there's something I can eat that's stirred up from the bottom. They're opportunists, but they do love hugging that bottom, and this system keeps you out of those snags. What a mess. What I really love about these freedom herrings, not only can I do this because it's buoyant, it's got that beautiful cut bait roll, but they're not speed sensitive. If I'm hitting the current and I'm going too fast, it still has great action. If I'm going a little too slow, it still has great action. They're just so user friendly. See a pretty good glow there. Oh, whoa. Maybe I better just stop it. You're already up out of the way. You know, lake trout can be very fussy and hard to predict, but when they're on, they can get on. Look at you. Oh, get in. Single hook, thank goodness. It happens when you're doing it all yourself. This guy's just gone squirrely, and that's a bigger fish than I thought. He just springboarded himself right out of the net. All right, look at this. Oh, look at that. Unbelievable. Look at the girth on these things. I don't know what they're eating, but they are just enormously fat. That is incredible. But, you know, pay attention to the little details. I started with the smaller freedom herring in the same pattern, and seeing that these guys are starting to put the feed bag on, they seem to want to, lake trout can be pigs. I went a little bit bigger, same pattern, but it's that cut bait roll. It doesn't always have to be behind a flasher. It doesn't always have to be for salmon. I'm running these straight, and I'm hitting that bottom with the jet diver, and it's this little injured bait that's kicked up from what looks like from the bottom, and they're just sucking it back. Wow, this is fun.
Fishful Thinking is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Princecraft boats dominate the waters. Humminbird Helix fish finders, and Ram trucks built to serve. Tackle today the Freedom Herring Cutbait Trolling Lure. Daiwa Saltus Line Counter Reel with 6.1-to-1 gear ratio. 20-pound test Seagar Abrasics 100% fluorocarbon fishing lines. Daiwa AccuDepth Medium Heavy Downrigger rods. 25-pound test Seagar STS Salmon Fluorocarbon leaders. Canon Optimum Downriggers, track system and adjustable rod holders. Smooth Moves shock absorbing seat suspensions. Humminbird Helix 10 fish finders with GPS. Revo sunglasses with 100% protection from UV, A, B, and C. Lure speed and temperature with Fishhawk electronics. Designed for multi-species, the Princecraft Expedition 200. And the Mercury 225 and 9.9 horsepower 4-stroke Pro Kicker motors.
These Freedom heads and a nice big hook on the back of it has just been my go-to year after year up here. There's a chunky fit. Look at the belly on that thing. Wow. That is awesome.